Hey, this is Mike Koenigs. Welcome to the NASA and AI Accelerator Off-World AI Playbook. This is all about using generative AI to bring humanity to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. And we're following that plan of getting there by 2040, specifically Mars. Now, if you were at the NASA event, this is just a follow-up video where I go through all of the tools in a little more detail than I had time for. And if you aren't aware of this, this is a presentation that I made at a special event called Nexplore in accordance with NASA, or partnership with NASA and Spacecom in Arlington, Virginia, with my friend Dragana Linfield. So this is my portion of the presentation. The outcome and goal that I have for you is to see some of the applications for how generative AI can be used to solve some of humanity's biggest problems. And you're going to witness step by step some of the most powerful tools right now using super agents, but also code generators. Even if you don't know anything about writing code, I think this will blow your mind. So I'll begin with this little animation. This was done with a new piece of technology that Google recently released. It's called VEO3, and another tool called Nano Banana. Now, the tools themselves aren't that important. I'm always agnostic about the tools I use, but what's great and what's important that I really tried to get across at the NASA event is no matter how technical you are, whether you are an engineer or an investor or a student, or maybe you're working for the administration or whatever your role might be, none of what you do matters if you can't get attention and tell a great story. So I'm going to be using tools and technologies throughout this presentation to tell a good story. So our goal in getting together was to create some workshops and get students involved, as well as the entire audience, to be solving some of NASA's biggest challenges, like living on Mars, mental health, water and sanitation, growing food, power, exploration, education and training, the Martian digital twin. In other words, being able to have a synthetic version of whatever the world is so that you can do tests very, very quickly. You know, notice mental health is on there twice. It's actually because, well, AI made a mistake. I did this on purpose because, well, I'm going to show you some of the little bumps that AI still has when it comes to solving problems and how to overcome some of those challenges as well. So our promise inside of this presentation all along was to inspire you to solve NASA's biggest challenges with generative AI to accomplish the 2040 vision, which the administration is very interested in, but also from a technical perspective, the United States needs to get back to the moon and to Mars first. And of course, this is for all sorts of reasons I'm not going to get into today. I'm not doing politics. So our goal inside of this and what we established was to show you how to build and prototype AI-powered solutions and then create apps. Now, this will make a lot more sense as we move forward, so instead of explain it now, I'm going to show you. Now, at the event, and for you who weren't at NASA, I can't give you the same toolkit, but I am going to give you some resources as we move along that you will be able to access. So worry not, but inside the Off-World AI Playbook were all of the tools and the links and the prompts that we use throughout this to make this presentation. So just again, to frame this a little bit, the goal is to get back to Mars or get to Mars by 2040. So there's lots and lots of problems that need to be overcome in order to accomplish this. It's not just technical. It's not just people and power and food. But part of the way that NASA believes they can get there, as long as more people get on board and understand what's possible, is what generative AI solutions and tools can do that. And one of the things that I'm introducing you today, if you're not familiar with them, are AI super agents that can be used to think ahead, plan, and do your work for you. I'll reveal a few of them, and then I'm going to show you how they're stacked together to write code. And then one of the other outcomes is to create real apps with automations and AI very quickly. In fact, some of the demos I'm going to show you, I had a functional app in 20 minutes, something that normally would have taken weeks or months to produce, and you can do it too. And finally, how to storytell with AI. Again, none of this matters if you can't get your message out to the right people in a way they understand that motivates and engages them so they raise their hands and say, I want to be part of this mission, but also I want to give you the money so that this is possible, just like in real life. All right. And then at the event, there was a workshop and competition opportunity where you could actually build your apps. In the NASA situation, we put a QR code up that everyone could scan, get the workbook, and actually start showing some of the results. We're going to do it a little bit differently this time. And the other big message is NASA really needs your help. One of the things that I learned while I was there is just how accessible NASA was, the people were. We're often, if you were raised in the United States, we're always led to believe, oh my God, being able to work with NASA someday, how impossible would that be? And full disclosure, I never knew it was possible. It just so happened that through a chance meeting with Dragana, who teaches at MIT, she said, hey, would you like to come speak and talk about AI at NASA? And I thought, well, that sounds super exciting. Why not? All right. So let me begin with a little mini commercial. So just to set this up, what we wound up doing is when we first met with Crystal Johnson from NASA, she explained to us what the vision and the mission was: get to Mars by 2040, get back to the lunar surface as quickly as possible. This is of national security importance, and all of the benefits of space exploration that benefit everyone. And she said, we've got lots of challenges. NASA has lots of challenges. Is there a way that generative AI could help accomplish that? So just through our conversations, I fed the conversations into ChatGPT, started isolating some of the biggest problems. And through that, we designed a solution for a problem that anyone, any human being that would ever go into space, or for that matter, anything alive would deal with, which is potential respiratory failure. So what I did is I took the conversation, not only started building an app, but I made a mini commercial describing what the problem was. So I'm going to play that for you now instead of tell you about it, because what you're about to see was 100% synthetic AI-generated video that it was made in less than 40 minutes, start to finish, from scripting to all the rendering, all the imagery, original music, the narration, the lot. Here it is.
On the moon or Mars, every breath matters. Dust, radiation, and confined habitats silently stress the lungs. Astronauts often don't realize their respiratory health is changing until it's too late. CoughSense is a simple, non-invasive way to track breathing health over time. By analyzing coughs and voice patterns, it spots early warning signs, shifts in frequency, tone, and recovery that astronauts may not feel themselves. With CoughSense, crews gain autonomy in monitoring their own wellness without waiting on Earth for analysis. It's a safety net that helps protect missions, performance, and lives.
Pretty cool, right? All right. So again, the possibility of being able to tell a story and prototype something. So for example, this last Tuesday, I was with a couple of clients, and in one day we prototyped a whole bunch of software and an entire visualization and a commercial and a business model and pitch in one day. Afterwards, I asked him, well, how long would that have taken? And this individual has been managing over $3.5 billion in investments. He's worked with small companies, startups, mid-size, large corporations. And he said, it'd take forever and be impossible. He says, there's no number of people or budget that we could have thrown at this. It had to be done this way. So part of what I'm going to show you is how ordinary people like you and I can design solutions for incredibly complex problems, be able to test them out, create conversations, be able to prototype in real time. I see this as being the future of research, of business creation, job creation, creation of businesses of any sort. So let's continue. First, a little bit of groundwork. I get this question all the time. Well, which AI should I use and when, in what circumstances? And by the way, that little animation you're looking at there was done and made using GenSpark, which is a super agent I'm going to introduce you to. So the answer I always give people is, why use one AI when you can use 10 of them? So this is a strategy I call the Genius Stack. Frameworks create freedoms. So the whole idea is, if you could employ, and if you had one big problem, for example, and you just asked one really smart person the answer to that question, well, they might give you the answer, and they could lie to you, they could hallucinate, they could make something up, or they could tell you the truth. Or if you gave the same problem to 10 people and you listened to what all 10 said, Even if you're dumb, you could Venn diagram and basically say, hey, 3 or 10 of them agree with each other. They're probably true or right, especially if they're working independently. AI is very much the same way. So, for example, one of the things that Krista said to me, or Crystal from NASA, she said, you know, NASA has over 150 identified technology gaps and problems. And neither one of us knew exactly what they were. I wanted the list, so I just took this list. I put it into a tool that I use all the time. This is called ChatHub. Now, one of the things that ChatHub lets you do is you can put one prompt into this tool, and boom, it's suddenly running 6 different AIs simultaneously. Here you can see OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, Grok, Mistral, and Perplexity. But in the bottom right, there's a button I press, and what it does is it captures all of the results, all of the outcomes from all of these and synthesizes them together. Okay, so my mindset, my approach to all things is, why wouldn't you ask 10 geniuses simultaneously the same problem and synthesize the results? It's also a fast way to be super creative. So in my opinion, through my lens, I believe the future of doing any kind of work is going to be human beings operating on top, collaborating with AIs, talking to them like they are fellow partners or any kind of a collaborator or someone who's working on the job with you. And the next thing I get is all the time is, well, doesn't AI hallucinate? Doesn't it make stuff up? And I'll be like, yeah, you ever been lied to by a human before? All right, so what? Except AI could lie to you faster. There's no doubt about that. But all the large language models, the LLMs these days, are mostly trained using completely different data blobs, all right? So you can fact check against them. You can use a prompt that says fact check and provide specific citations for every assertion and idea in these results. So one of the workarounds is, whenever either you're not sure or you want to verify, put it into multiple AIs, take the results, synthesize them together, and then ask for all of them to fact check the results and tell you what might be wrong. Okay? Just like humans, you know, why do you have peer-reviewed papers? To check and make sure that people aren't lying and making stuff up. So as time moves on, more and more of these tools will fact check. There will be certifications, but in the meantime, we got to do what we got to do. So in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and also we have to use these tools as quickly as we can to get as much out of them as we can. So that gets us to which AI tools should we use and when? Well, my go-to is still ChatGPT. I use it all the time for just about everything. It's my Swiss Army knife. Now, is it the best? No, it depends. Claude is actually pretty good for copywriting. It's good for research. It can be good for coding. Another one is GenSpark. This is a super agent. It's one of my favorite tools in the arsenal. There's one problem with it. It's Chinese. Do I trust stuff that comes out of China? Not especially, all right? We know that there can be some privacy issues that we might not be aware about, but you know what? Do I trust Meta? No. Okay, do I trust any of these companies? Not that much. My assertion, my point of view with all these is, the day you used a mobile phone, the day you got on the internet, is the day you gave up your privacy. So you have to decide what's right for you, and you have to decide if you trust these companies. To me, the speed by which I can get things done faster is what matters most. I believe in this era, those who innovate and iterate the fastest are always going to be the winners, who get to market faster and fastest, and who tell the best stories. Moving right along, we've got Grok. That's Elon's tool. It's really smart. The good thing about it is it doesn't have all the built-in sensors. I find myself arguing with a lot of these platforms all the time. I don't find that useful. I'm not going to argue with a bot. Next, Perplexity, or have ethical conversations with them. Perplexity is a great research tool. But these days, ChatGPT and some of the others that have access to the web now are doing a fantastic job. But again, I like to stack the results. I'm agnostic. Manus, another fantastic super agent that has very good reasoning. It does extremely complex research, and it employs as many as 100 agents at once that'll go out and do research for you and then synthesize the results together. Fantastic tool. Also from China. Minimax is another super agent. Super agents basically mean They think ahead. They do a lot of reasoning. They plan ahead. They think about what is the outcome this human wants and desires. I am going to figure out all the steps necessary, all the logic, all the reasoning to make that happen and make it true. You don't have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Gemini, which is Google's tool, from a lot of points of view, most people believe that Google will probably win in the battles and the wars because they have so much knowledge and so much data, YouTube, specifically all the search data. However, on a day-to-day basis, I don't find it to be the best out of the bunch. In fact, I get mediocre performance in general from Google products when it comes to AI. Abacus, another super agent, super powerful as well. There's another one I've been using called Kimi. Now, if I were making this video for you 2 weeks from today, 3 of these things might not be on the list anymore. Why? Everything is moving so fast. And again, I have absolutely no loyalty to any tool whatsoever. Why? Because I only care about the outcome and the results. Now, is that the right way to think? I don't know, but it works for me, and it has since AI was first available on a consumer level starting in November 20th of 2022. All right, so what should we build? Well, I showed you a little commercial a little while ago. Let's dig into CoughSense. So now I'm going to take you down a journey of what it takes to actually build a solution. Know that when this journey began, and I spoke with Crystal with Dragana, we started just dialoguing back and forth, having a regular conversation. Hey, what's the biggest problem? What can we look at? We looked at health. That's when CoughSense came up. We decided to choose that. And all I started with is a little conversation that began with a description. Look at this prompt. I said, turn this description into a full code prompt that I can put inside a code generator and produce an app that will be fully functional using any low-code or no-code tool, including ChatGPT, Claude, Base 44, Lovable, Gemini, or any other local code, no-code tool. Now, I speak my prompts. You'll notice that it might not be perfectly grammatically correct. It doesn't matter. Context is the only thing that matters. Accuracy doesn't matter. Spelling doesn't matter. None of these things care because they understand language and patterns. So normally, I'm actually full on talking to every single one of them, and I'm building consistent prompts, and I'm pasting them between a whole bunch of tools. So, for example, I take this description, and I basically say, now take this description of stuff. It's just a dialogue. It was a narrative, and I said, turn it into a prompt for me, which basically what I'm saying is, I don't even know how to prompt. Let's say I didn't know how to prompt. I don't even know how to code. Do it for me. This is following a methodology. We call it MAC, which is mentor me, and then do it for me, and then improve it for me. And so you can see this thing started writing and creating pseudocode. Pretty technical stuff. That doesn't even matter. What's important is you can basically describe your intent, have a conversation. I record conversations all the time. I'll say, hey, is it okay while we're brainstorming? Let me just capture this stuff. I take pictures of whiteboards. I paste all that into, most of the time I put it into ChatGPT with my outcome, and I say, make me a prompt. And then I want you to execute the prompt. So after a little while, this thing cranked along, may have been 2-3 minutes or so. So what did I do next? Well, now I opened up a whole bunch of coding tools. So when I showed you the Genius stack a little while ago, I use a stack of geniuses to solve every problem I have, whether I'm writing reports or creating some sort of content or whatever it is. When it comes to coding, here's my mindset. I had multiple development companies for years, and we usually had one core development group, but what I love to do is hire 2 or 3 groups to work on the same problem simultaneously and see how they went about solving problems. The only problem with that is it would take weeks and weeks to come out with the programming specification, communicate this vision, document everything, pass it along, and then we'd have to wait weeks or months for some kind of result. Okay? It was annoying, but what was good is different people would solve problems in a completely different way, especially if they're new teams. Sometimes their version of impossible was very different than an older group's version of impossible. So I believe that coding can be the same way. So these are some of the tools that I use. Note that a couple of them that are yellow, Lovable, Rourke, another one's called Replit. Another one called Base 44. There's Rocket.new. Not all of them are yellow. Some of these are brand new. As of the time I spoke at NASA, one of them was less than 48 hours old, and it was pretty amazing. Again, I am agnostic with all these tools. I pay for all of them. They're cheap. They can cost anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 50 bucks a month, but they do the work of tens, if not hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars worth of development hours and developers to quickly prototype and iterate. So let me show you what that looks like. First of all, a little time saver, another mindset. I'm constantly on the lookout for ways that I can save 10 minutes every single hour. That is my goal. So I have a tool I used, a new browser called Comet. The Perplexity company came out with it. And you'll notice I have a prompt that says, open each of these tools in a browser tab. So I copy this as a full prompt. I put it into this tool called Comet, which again is an AI-powered browser. Now, why would you care about one of these things? Well, when I paste in that prompt and I press the Enter key, it would do the job of me going Command T and pasting in a web address, Command T, opening it up, opening it up, opening up. So this in turn saved me a few minutes. I can do the exact same strategy and approach now with all these tabs for pasting in the code module that I got as well. So that's my shortcut for opening up a bunch of tabs. Now I'm going to show you my shortcut for writing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of code single-handedly in a matter of minutes or hours. So I started with ChatGPT, pasted in the code. Then I go over to this tool called Replit. I gave you a list of 10 different products that I use. Here's Claude, same exact code, pasted it in. Here's another tool called Lovable. It's a no-code, low-code generator. That's actually quite good. Okay, here's another one called Rourke, R-O-R-K. I like this one because it writes iPhone apps and Android apps in addition to web apps. Here's Gemini, another one called Base 44, also super powerful. There's another one called Abacus AI. This is a super agent that also happens to write code. GenSpark also has a code generator. There's lots and lots and lots of these. Again, which one matters the most? I don't care, whichever one's best right now. So once I got these things rolling and they start coding, each one of them starts approaching the problem from a completely different point of view. This, by the way, is typical generative AI. Generative AI looks and solves a problem. And if you started the same exact prompt in the same exact tool, but add them in different windows, they're going to produce different results. All right? It's pretty wacky. So my goal is I want the geniuses to go off and do their job and come back to me and give me some options so I can eyeball them and see which of the solutions look the best. Now, I did speed this up. So what you see here took place over a period of about 40 minutes or so. But now I'm going to show you what some of the results look like, because I started seeing some results from some of these things after about 20 minutes or so. That's kind of the current state of the art. Some of them are a little bit faster. Some of them would ask me for clarifying questions, additional context, and I'm paying attention to what kind of conversations I'm having. This is going to be very important in just a moment. So as it starts building some code, here are the results. Now, again, full disclosure, this took place when I recorded this a couple hours after I had begun. Now, over time, I ended up continuing to tweak this, but this is what ChatGPT came up with, for example. Super ugly user interface, didn't work very well. I wasn't too impressed, all right? Now, GenSpark, this one was interesting. By the way, this has a cough sensor in it. You can see on the bottom, on the left, there's a spectrum analyzer. Every time I coughed into this thing, because what it would do is you'd cough into the microphone, it'd measure the results, and it's supposed to chart and graph it, and then send that data back to Earth to be analyzed to see if me as an astronaut, if I've got some sort of respiratory disorder. Claude came up with a different user interface. Now, I think it's ugly, and it's not very functional. It didn't really analyze. It didn't create the reports I told it to. So clearly its interpreter didn't work too well. But this is lovable. Now, this one did have a recorder. It did record, but it didn't show a VU meter. I told it to make a VU meter. When I pressed the button, it did do some kind of results analysis, and it did come up with some pretty good looking reports and charting. So again, what I'm looking for right now is, hey, what kind of creative, cool stuff would my group come up with? I could save my results here. I could upload some files. Now here's another one, Replit. This also had a recording feature, but let's see. No VU meter, no spectrum analyzer. I didn't like that, but it did have the capability to upload an audio file if I wanted it. Okay. It has some kind of detailed analysis and some sort of deets, but not that good. Okay. Here's Replit. Okay, let's check out another one. Okay, this is Rourke. So this is the first one that had the capacity and capability. I could record. You can see it's got a spectrum analyzer on it. I could stop and it's analyzing the results. It measures the number of coughs I made. Okay, it's got some sort of a dashboard here that it came up with, some insights. It's history. It even figured out what the back end should look like. Pretty cool, okay? Was it fully functional? Not quite. Base 44, another tool. This one also has a recorder. Now, again, I told it to put some sort of analysis on there, but they don't always listen. They're just like humans. It's got a processing module, okay? It's analyzing. It's going to produce some reports in just a moment. You can see the user interface. Okay, I think it looks pretty good, all right? It came up with some ideas. I certainly wouldn't have designed this in that short period of time. So think about this from a productivity point of view. Think of it from a design point of view. Look at those reports. I wouldn't have thought of that. You know, how many incredibly talented people would you need to get in a room? Now I can go and come up with an idea and prototype something and go back to my team and say, here, look at this and this and this. Oh, by the way, here's Google AI Studio. It had a really good spectrum analyzer capability, but no reporting. You'd think you'd get something better out of Google than this. Okay, very disappointed, very disappointed. Okay, here's another one. This is Abacus, Deep Agent. All right, what did it have? Couldn't even talk to the microphone. I argued with this platform for quite a while and I didn't get it to work. So here's what's important about this. Not all of them work all the time, but that's why I get 10 of them fired up. I want options. I want different things to look at. And getting back to what I mentioned earlier, from my point of view, what's so incredibly valuable about this is, and I'll tell you a real life story. My son, who's 23 years old, I recently taught him this model. He met with one of my clients. He designed and built an application platform designed to help business owners mentor young college-age students as apprentices, and they're providing some matchmaking services. And this client works in the fleet business right now, an area that in the trades always is dealing with talent shortages. So he's found that he's got surrounded with $100,000 problems all the time. And he said, I'd rather hire an apprentice, give them a job to solve a $100,000 problem that very likely they can figure out and solve using AI tools in a matter of weeks, and then have them solve the next one and the next one and the next one. This is a total everyone wins kind of a scenario. So again, my son, Zach, designed the software, had it prototyped, functional. It's working enough that soon they're going to be doing tests, and he's getting paid a very nice salary, and he also received equity in this business. At 23 years old, I think it's pretty phenomenal. And by the way, it turns out my nephew also ended up bumping into the same problem. And this wasn't because Daddy made a call. It's because these two showed the ability to rapidly prototype, show in a meritocracy-oriented environment that they had the wisdom, the knowledge, and the foresight to build something that actually functioned and worked in a remarkably short period of time. I think this is the future of what education should be, engineering should be, and also entrepreneurship. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean I'm right. All right, so here's another brand new tool that came out just a couple days when I went over there. It was called rocket.new. So you'll see in this particular user interface, it had a VU meter, it had a spectrum analyzer, because what I did is I reviewed all of the apps and I described what I liked about them most. I had one of them deconstruct itself and give me a master prompt for all the work I had put it into this one tool, and in one iteration, I had something functional that looked beautiful, and it effectively grabbed the best of the design ideas from all of them. Okay, now that should get your head spinning, and if you need to, go back and replay what I just said. So how did they score? Well, I did a little bit of tongue-in-cheek here, and I will tell you that I use all these tools all the time for different kinds of applications. Sometimes they win, okay? Sometimes they nail it right away. Sometimes I have to fight with them like crazy. Sometimes they're absolutely ineffective, and other times they're rock stars. A couple of them that I found are really, really good. Replit has consistently gotten better just in the past week. Now it's got self-debugging built in. Rourke, Rocket.new, Base 44, those are some of my favorites. But just because it's true right now doesn't mean it's going to be true all the time. This technology is moving so fast. Iteration matters. All right, so I'm going to give you one more idea here because I want to move into the storytelling side. Because the next question that we got asked is, okay, what's NASA's latest challenge? Really, what's its biggest challenge? It's energy. And one of the things that happened during our little dialogue that AI helped with is Crystal said, oh yeah, I think there's some product that is a byproduct of plutonium that could be an alternate energy source. So I just typed that into ChatGPT in real time. And sure enough, we got this report about what it is. And one of the byproducts is americium-241. You can see it right there in the report. So we thought, oh, well, let's do a little bit of a story about this product and how it could be used to solve power challenges both on the lunar surface and on Mars. So basically, again, I just took that description, that little outline we got about americium, and I said, turn this outline into an elegant, informative, educational, and easy to understand pitch video to engage an audience of NASA professionals, academics, investors interested in space, interested in public-private partnerships to further. Again, I spoke this. It didn't have to be perfect. What are the results? So I use this tool. It's called InVideo. I love this product. What I love about it is you can take in a fairly vague prompt, and it creates really good synthetic videos extremely quickly. It can also, you can upload your own voice or your own video, and it will make a video of you narrating something, okay? Is it perfect? Nope, not even close. Is it pretty good? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. So I'm gonna show you a little clip from that. But basically you pop something in, it takes a little while to process, and then you tell it, okay, I want to output it to be a certain duration. I want it to be for a certain audience. I want the platform it's going to go to, whether it's Instagram for vertical or for YouTube or LinkedIn. So it goes and processes, and then you end up getting some output. Now what I'll do is, I'll see if I embedded it here, but I can play a little segment of that. But what's cool is 100% synthetic video to help you tell a story. Now, what I frequently do is I might use this to create my first generation video just to communicate an idea, and then I'll bring in my creative teams to make something that's real and final. So let me just play a little clip of that.
In the shadows of every space mission lies a question. How do we keep the lights on when the sun can't reach us? Solar panels fail in endless night. Batteries run dry. Plutonium-238, NASA's power source of choice, is rare and vanishing. But hidden inside yesterday's nuclear waste lies tomorrow's cosmic battery, americium-241, a byproduct no one wanted, a contaminant discarded until now. Half-life, 432 years, constant heat, reliable, abundant, and waiting. Already under development in Europe. Americium-241 is the next fuel for radioisotope thermoelectric generators, RTGs. that will power habitats, rovers, and probes, not for years, but for generations. Already under development in Europe, Americium 241 is the next fuel for RTGs that will power habitats, rovers, and probes. Not for years, but for generations. This is not science fiction. It is science, recycled. Waste becomes lifeline. Liability becomes legacy. Public-private partnerships can turn stockpiles of toxic trash into engines of exploration. Imagine a future where every step on the moon, every night on Mars, every signal from deep space carries the heartbeat of a power source born from waste. Americium 241, from nuclear trash to the battery of the cosmos. The next frontier won't be powered by what we discover, but by what we refuse to waste.
All right. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But for a first spin and a conversation that we can have, this is the kind of thing that in the past, if you're working with a traditional agency, for example, you could literally spend weeks or months, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why I get calls all the time from business owners and founders saying, first of all, can you show me the system and the process that you're using to get results this quickly, or to take non-technical people and get them functional? But also, I believe this is the future of doing business. It's the future of education. It's got to be done in a way that it is in real time and building something that's for a customer as quickly as possible. It's the only vote that matters is the one that the market makes. Now, that isn't to say I don't believe in peer research. I think peer research is absolutely important, but somehow we got to make sure the lights are on first. So with that, a couple more tools here for you. This is one called Gamma.app. I use this all the time to prototype keynote-like presentations. So all I did is I took the exact same script that made that video. I grabbed it, I pasted it into Gamma. So simple copy paste. This tool creates the equivalent of a keynote or a PowerPoint presentation. You can upload styles and style guides now, and it also creates 100% synthetic images. So you don't ever have to worry about copyrights. Yes, you can upload your own images. Yes, you can have total control, but my mindset, again, is I use multiple slide presentation generators as well to create my first draft. So at least I can get past the white page hump and look at some possibilities. And in some cases, I've worked with people who have come to me and they're like, I have a presentation tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It's 9 p.m. right now. What the hell am I going to do? And I sit down, I show them Gamma, and all I do with them is have a quick conversation, capture it as a narration or a transcript, paste it in. We've at least got a first draft. So they're not sweating bullets. They can actually get a little bit of sleep, get up and tweak it in the morning. Good enough for playtime to get past that hump and have a decent conversation with someone with some nice visuals. So this is what that presentation looked like in a matter of moments. And what I just showed you happened in real time, by the way. So, in my opinion, is it great design? Nah, it's not great design. Is there too much text on a screen? Yep, too much text on a screen. But at least I have enough to have a conversation and get past the first big hump. All right. So a couple other alternatives for you. Beautiful AI is another slide presentation maker. GenSpark is doing a great job. They've got a new designer feature. Manus.im is doing an okay job. Doesn't stylistically work as well as the other ones, but good to get past the hump. Another one called Tome, T-O-M-E. Maybe it's Tome, I don't know. And Prezi.ai. All of these are evolving quickly. So if you tried one of them out 6 months ago and you're like, it wasn't very good, try it again. These things are evolving very rapidly. And why not just test it out? It's easy to open up another prompt or another window, paste in a prompt, press the enter button, and look at it. So the last big one that I want to share with you here is advanced cinematic pitch videos. I showed you a tool I love called IDEO, which is really, really powerful and effective and useful. And in video, rather. In video, I knew that sound. But this is the interface for GenSpark, which does a lot of stuff. This has become my favorite go-to platform. So GenSpark Super Agent specifically, now you can actually access many models, which the models meaning the visual model. The one I'm using the most is from Google. It's Gemini. It's VEO3. So I just pasted in a bit of a script. And what it starts doing is it will take that script and determine what it should create visually, because there's another little checkbox that's called auto prompt that you can see in the bottom right. So it'll take any prompt you give it, enhance it, and then in a matter of moments, it will actually produce a clip, a video clip. Now, there are some limitations with this technology right now. Usually makes them anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds or 5 to 10 seconds in terms of length, but it can produce audio and video and even little clips of music and narration. So the future of filmmaking and commercial making and television making is using a combination of these tools right now. It does take a fair amount of tweaking. My son Zach, who has a background in film and creative, what he'll do is he'll create multiple versions of the same scene, pick the best one, edit them together. So there is some work. It's no different than traditional filmmaking where you might storyboard and make or take a shot and make it take a shot. But here you can see the final. This is like a little bit of a rover that's driving around. Here's another clip on a Martian surface. But in my particular case, what I did is I just loaded up a whole bunch of clips and I start picking the best one. So the original video that you saw that I made for CoughSense, that first commercial, that was done in a matter of just under an hour, where I did the same exact approach. And then I wound up composing a little bit of music and dropping in some sound effects. I did a little extra work, but nothing that's spectacularly complex. Certainly something that is totally trainable to an ordinary person in a half a day. So I like to say it's absolutely possible to create a one-person marketing team with fairly minimal training who'll be super effective creating commercial quality products. Now that can either overjoy you or scare the hell out of you. That's your choice. It's a tool. All right. So at this point in the NASA presentation, here's what I said. Dragana and I said, it's your turn to compete and win because we set up a little competition. But I do want to tell you some things that are absolutely relevant no matter where you are, and that is AI is a mindset, it's a behavior, and a cultural shift into your daily workflows. What I've been saying for a long time, and recently MIT proved this in a published report they made not long ago, they said 95% of generative AI projects were failing. Now, why are they failing? It's because there was a resistance, because people weren't completing the projects. I really think it's because founders of organizations can't go in and dictatorially say, you must use AI or else. That's just going to scare your teams. They're going to be resentful and frustrated. They're going to be like, yeah, I'll show you. Really what we have to do is show what's possible from a leadership point of view, and then show the teams that this is going to make you more effective, more creative, more valuable, and you have nothing to be afraid of by learning how to use a new tool that makes you better. Makes you a better communicator, better human being, and also being able to be a mentor inside an organization to younger apprentices. All right. The next big idea is talking to GPT, which is treat it like a team member, innovate and iterate constantly and capture everything. Okay. You can feed the results back into the AIs and they constantly get better. And then using the multiple genius AI strategy, more are better. Now there's a certain saturation point where there's so much you can't decode. That's up to you and your ability to absorb. But I've found that having more ideas to pick from make teams more creative. You just need to keep to a timeline. And part of that is learning a cadence. That is a teachable skill set. And then being able to prototype in real time, creating minimum MVPs or minimal viable products with multiple AI development tools and synthesizing your outputs together like I did with CoughSense. And then remember the most important thing, None of this matters if you can't tell a story and you can't market it and get it in the hands of customers who use it and give you feedback. So storytelling is critically important. I think it's more important now than ever before. And then finally, now it's time to play. So create amazing tools, amazing resources, amazing markets. Share this. This is an opportunity. You can look at this as a dangerous weapon or a scary time or the most exciting moment in human history. I choose that hallucination. So I am going to tell you briefly about an opportunity for us to work together. There's actually multiples. And over again, I've shown you a QR code. So if you're interested in working with my team or me, scan that and start a conversation with us. But I'm going to give you one way that's super easy to work with us. It's a program that we've been running called AI Accelerator Live. It's an in-person or virtual experience where you can learn, how to use these tools to get your time back, be more creative, add your superpowers, but also bring this into the culture of your own businesses really, really quickly in 2 days. We have step-by-step workbooks that you can follow. So part of what you'll receive here is an opportunity, to get our past program and dive into it right now, but also attend one of our upcoming live events. I'm going to tell you more about that. It's also an ongoing weekly training program. And one of the things about AI is it does require, it's just like sports, it requires some regular practice, and there's new tools coming out. You want someone showing you, saving you time so you can actually get stuff done. So we've got it divided into 4 quadrants. Your AI superpowers, it's giving your time back, giving you super capabilities. Number 2, your one-person marketing team, telling stories that result in conversions, but also making the people on your team better communicators, more effective communicators faster. Third is adding top-line revenue by creating more opportunities, more income, by innovating faster and shortening the iteration cycles. And then finally, automating everything possible using super agent technologies, agents, and beyond. Okay, so it's all taught in a workshop and hot seat format where I begin with a real life case study, kind of like what I did today. I'll show you, go through it step by step, how it worked. You get a playbook that you scan and open, and then you get to pick a workflow that will solve the biggest challenge that you have right now in your business or your life that you'd like to use AI for. And unlike any other training, one of the things that we do is we encourage founders to be in the room with either your co-founder or your number one, and then have virtual team members as implementers working with you. This is the fastest way to learn AI, get AI to work, is to start doing workshop sprints in real time. We found the most effective time blocks are about 3 hours. You can come up with a problem, solve it, and have a functional prototype or a minimum viable product working and running, and it's going to just change your mindset. And then Q&A and hot seats. So it's not just what you learn by yourself, it's when you hear and see what other people do. That's why I love doing it in a group environment and sharing your outcomes. You have these massive ahas, and then you learn and you stack and you learn from someone else. And for us, we have continuous 6-month training and support programs where we meet every week, where there's constant Q&A, exposure to new tools that run better, what's best, what's missing, and where can you get that extra couple of minutes back, or where can you create a 3x or a 10x result. By the way, at the next one, my wife will be there, who just reinvented herself, launched a really fascinating podcast using AI, and my son, who has been busy using these tools and created and launched a business. He, in fact, just got hired to make videos for the Tony Robbins organization because of his skills, not because daddy got in between. It's because he did the work. I see this as being potential for anyone. You know, I've seen what it does in my own family. I know what it'll do for yours, but you're going to meet my family and see how we've integrated it. So there's a couple ways, again, to attend. You'll see on the screen, if you go to aiaccelerator.com/live, I've got a coupon code for a discount because you've taken the time to watch this video. So there's 2 options for you. One is 2 days live and in person. That's where it can be you. There's a virtual ticket for your implementer, and you get a one-on-one introductory call where you actually talk to a real human being. We talk to you, and we get to know about you and your business because that's how we create our curriculum. You get access to our current AI Accelerator for Entrepreneurs training program. You also get a pre-event training program. And then you also get access to a WhatsApp support group. So that's the in-person live version that in this particular case, I'll show you the dates in just one moment and the location. We've got some crazy cool bonuses for you. One is you get access to our last event. So you get recordings and all the playbooks. You get transcripts, the 4 quadrants playbooks that guide you step by step. You also get the full training program, all of our past recordings. So if you really love immersing yourself, you get welcomed with the advisory call. That's where we talk to you, learn about your business, because we build the curriculum based upon who's in the room. You also, for the first 5 who respond to this, you'll have an opportunity to meet directly with me. And I will talk to you and coach you on the most effective ways to use AI in your business or any other problem that you have that you want a solution for. I only do this for a limited number of people because frankly, I just don't have a lot of time these days. We also have some special guest speakers. My good friend Joe Polish will be there from Genius Network, and also Jeff Walker, the creator of the product launch formula, a longtime friend of 20 years. We'll have a couple other people there, but this is a workshop, just for the record. This is where you walk in, you get stuff done. The dates and times, October 28th and 29th, taking place in Phoenix, Arizona. Super easy. It's a great airport, in and out, right next to hotels. We're feeding you. We're making it so easy. This is the information on the virtual cup of coffee. Again, 5 of the live people who decide to do this live get to go, and I have a $500 off coupon for you. All right. So more details are available on the page when you go to the checkout. But let me tell you what else I have for you, which is if for some reason you can't make it, you can't travel, or you don't want to, whatever it is, we do have a virtual version. And that one is 2 days live and online. You get a pre-event AI training session. That's where you still get some training. You also get breakout rooms, and we're giving you the recordings and the playbooks from the last event. However, some of the other bonuses are not included. So we just want to make this available because, of course, this is what gets asked for all the time. It's a total no-brainer. So what I tell everyone is, look, come live, especially bring your teams. There's a VIP upgrade, so if you want to bring a business partner and more team members, that's possible. There's more details on the website, but nothing beats live and in person. However, if you can't make it that way, virtual is awesome as well. All right, I got one more thing for you. Check this out. This is my beautiful wife, Vivian Glick, who will be there. She's going to tell you a little bit about what to expect.
But Vivian, I just went through some brand new trainings.
Okay.
She didn't get to see me last night because I was working on the training for you today. But Vivian spoke at the event. She actually just reinvented herself, created a brand new platform. Why should folks be at the event? Why would they want to come? What was your experience, aside from the fact our son Zach was there, my nephew was there, my brother was there? It was a family experience. But what, from your point of view, were the biggest takeaways and breakthroughs that you witnessed?
I think that the ability for teams, for founders to come with their teams or to be working with their teams and to be able to start putting these all of these tools into process while they were there, that you could just see all of these light bulbs going off and people getting super excited about what was possible in the moment. So I think that what really differentiated this from other programs that I've been to is the workshopping, that you're really sitting there, rolling up your sleeves, you're getting a lot of information, and then it just kind of begets itself, because when you see somebody else's light bulbs going off, then you're thinking, I want that too. And so you're looking more closely at the tools, figuring it out. I think people really solved a lot of problems while they were in the room and also got inspired. And I mean, the networking is just fabulous. It's such a great, warm, close group of people who are really interested in progress and helping other people and making a contribution and in making their lives easier.
Good.
How was
You
that?
did a great
All
job.
right, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still thinking then. That's good.
And we had a lot of young people too. So I can tell you we had we had a gentleman who he's a significant figure. John Asaraf was there this time. I think he's planning on being at the next one. But a gentleman who's a major political figure was in the room who brought his son. And his son walked up afterwards and said it was simply the most significant professional experience of his life. And it gave him an enormous amount of hope. We had fathers and sons and moms and daughters there. We are going to have them at the next one. So if you're looking for a way to give your kids a massive leg up, and again, I'm going to say working level kids. I wouldn't be opposed to younger people, but we've got to say 18 and above unless they are truly exceptional. But we had
Every kid is truly exceptional.
everyone's kid is exceptional. But we had a young man there who he's the son of a guy that I know who went there and he developed an app from scratch while he was in the at the event that was launchable when he left. And that is, if there's anything that I hope and I wish for you, is the fact that you can really make your dreams come true and invent and create things that you didn't think were possible that you may have been stuck on for the longest time and just haven't been able to get traction on. And this opens up the possibilities and takes away the doubt. And the psychological benefits of this are more profound than the financial ones.
Right.
So I don't know if there's anything else we have to say except my nephew, who was there, got a job from one of the attendees who's actually here for one of his extended Superpower Accelerator Vision Days, so the next 3 days. And
our son got a couple of little gigs out of it too. So
Zach Scott, yeah, he's working doing AI. So
we're providing solutions while we're providing tools.
right on. So are you going to come to the next one?
I am.
Yep, you'll see Vivian there as well. And I don't know if there's anything else I want to leave you with except we're giving you an additional $500 off coupon that's good until Friday. That again, I'll put that back on the screen. And at this point, I'll take any questions that you have and stick around. And I know you've got an appointment you've got to run.
I do. I have a doctor's appointment. I just went to.
All right. I love you. Thank you for showing up. All right.
Bye.
See you.
All right. Well, that's what I have for you. That's my beautiful wife, Vivian, who will be there. And one last time, these are the details for the event. So you can check out and scan that or just visit the aiaccelerator.com/live link. Really what I want to leave you with, and the most important thing, the questions people ask is, look, making time for this, I understand making time is very, very difficult, but if you get an extra couple of days back every month or more every year and you increase your top line revenue, you simplify your business and you get substantially more done with the people you have, make them happier and more effective, this is one of the biggest no-brainers you'll ever make in terms of an investment in yourself, your team, your people, your business. And let's face it, I believe that businesses that don't get their employees, their team members involved in AI are going to start losing those team members to businesses that do. That's going to be the next fear. It's not the employee worried about losing their job. Now they're going to be seeking opportunities that include involvement with AI. So with that, the very last thing I can do is I can play this little sizzle reel of what the experience was like. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Head on over to aiaccelerator.com/live. There's the coupon code to use. Sign up, and I'll see you at that next event. Always at least say hi, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to watch me. Bye-bye. As founder entrepreneur visionaries, We're in a constant state of trauma, of not enough time, not enough money, not enough talent, not enough capabilities, not enough people. You can make it up and make it real faster than ever before and collapse time. And that's why we're going to see the first one-person billion-dollar company. It's going to be the visionary who implements fast.
Imagine it coaches you, your future self coaches you through your decisions every day. It's always aware of what you're doing. It knows who you want to be. We've already got the tech to do it, to be always on, always aware, and then give you proactive advice. I think we're going to have a really crazy world that we're living in.
Right now, creating content at scale and matching what your audience is actually wanting right now is critical, more critical than ever before. Pay close attention to the shift that's happening right now.
I believe right now we have about 18 to 36 months as business owners and founders to take advantage of AI and incorporate it both in our lives and our businesses, or you are going to be left behind.